Welcome everybody to SkyPower Solar, where we focus on the best and we do our best. Today we have Jacob Shumway, Derek Gunther, and Gibbotron, aka Gibson Anderson, here with us today. My name is Jeremy Simmons, hosting us all. So today I just got a few questions for us all, just to get everybody in the right mindset, help everybody understand what we do at SkyPower Solar. So Gibson, I got to ask you, what brought you on to SkyPower Solar?
It was just going through multiple companies and just kind of landed here with the leaders. So it was just kind of experiencing other companies and kind of wanting something different. And that's kind of what SkyPower brought. Okay,
and what was different about this company compared to the other companies you were at?
I would definitely say just kind of the values that they have, you know, they're culture-based, production-based. It's just like, you know what I mean, it's a different type of environment versus other companies. You know, a lot of the environments are the same.
So you like it more for the culture aspect. The culture is more on top compared to the other companies you were at. That's legit. What about you, Jake? What got you on to SkyPower Solar?
So like in every industry, there's like thousands of companies, right? We all know that there's millions of, like hundreds of thousands of solar companies probably now sprouting up everywhere, working with different installers. Right. Coming to this company, it was definitely the leadership. I was recruited before I had ever been in sales. So I was climbing the corporate ladder, you could say, doing internships, going to college, doing all that good stuff until I met just Garrett Rustan, Jacob Browning, some of the leaders here. I was like, wow, like I want to become like them and I want to have the lives they do. So it's like, okay, that's a cool solar company, but like why is it different than the 5 other offers out there? Exactly. And so came in to talk to Jacob Browning, and he just kind of walked me through the process, said, hey, maybe, I don't know, just talked to him, just thought it was a really good option. Then I came over here and obviously got the leadership I needed to succeed in the field.
There you go. I like that. And then what about you, Derek?
Yeah, so my boy Jake brought me over here. And then I just remember the first meeting, I came in and they were going over, you know, normal stuff. But I remember one of the leaders was in charge and he really emphasized integrity and like, you know, working with the people and stuff. And that's really big to me. And so from the very beginning, that was my first experience with this company and I loved that. And so I've just loved it since then, really, man.
That's cool. So what I'm hearing from all 3 of you is that the culture and the leadership was the top 2 things that brought people onto this company. So what about the leadership that you see within our leaders right now that you like about them or got you willing to follow their example? Let's start with you, Derek.
Yeah. So with the leaders here, dude, they're all leading from the front. They're all out there putting in work and, you know, they've all done it themselves and they work their way up. And so I feel like what they want for all of us is to become them, you know, to get the production, get the life we want, all those things. And so I just try to learn as much as I can from them.
That's legit. And then what about you, Jacob?
So they have the vision, which I think is a really important thing, but they also have an action plan to get to the vision. Okay, goals are not very good if you don't actually take action towards them. And I've just found that this company, it's a small startup, you know, but like we're expanding like crazy. I mean, every single week you come to our meetings, there's new people here, everyone's hyped up, they're excited to go out and sell.
That's good. I like that. And then what brought you on, or not what brought you on, but what about the leadership that got you to stay with us?
It's just kind of, you know, you find leaders that you know, understand you. You find leaders that you understand. And it's, you know, people don't leave companies, they leave leaders. So if you find a good leader and, you know what I mean, they'll kind of lead you on the right path. Kind of like you need like all successful people, all millionaires, they've had like a mentor, you know what I mean, that have encouraged them to do what they do. So that's kind of what the leaders here have done for us.
That's so legit. And that's one thing I love about this company is that we have staunch leaders, some people that are willing to actually go above and beyond, helping us out with our finances, even bringing on individuals to teach us how to be better at our finances, where to invest proper money into proper stocks and trades and stuff like that. So this group of leaders that we have right now, I feel personally that they created a lot of value coming from the ghetto, coming from, you know, poverty myself. I wasn't able to have a lot of that, you know, leadership mentoring like I got right now, I wasn't able to think outside the box. I wasn't able to make as much money because I didn't believe I could make as much money until I hung around the leaders that I do right now. So that's very cool that we all have respect for our leaders here as well. So what would be in this, field, because we do door to door and it's a grimy work. Can we all agree on that? What would be some of the ways for people who are just starting out in door to door or starting out with sales in general to keep their mindset going? What are some things that you have found that help you all out with your mindset? Start with Gibson or Jacob.
Yeah, it doesn't have to always start with me.
Yeah, so the biggest thing I've found is just actually figuring out what you want your mindset to be. Like if you go into somewhere and you're like floating around trying to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, like figure that out right when you get in here, and then develop a routine that allows you to reach your goals. So like one of the things I do, and I know you do this too, Jeremy, is you have like a mindset journal. Basically what I do is I do a morning mindset routine. I plan my day out, and then I have a reflection at night. So every time you go to bed, you're like, I already know what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I already know how I'm going to get there. Okay, like just for example, like if I wake up at 4:30, plan my day for the first 30 minutes and do morning mindset, then I hit the gym for an hour and 45 minutes. I come back, I'm reading my book by 7 a.m., drinking my protein, of course. By 7:30, like what does the average person wake up at in America? Like 9, 8?
I woke up at 10 today.
Yeah. Okay.
Friday,
so like,
Mayday.
so if you get up at 10, right? I already did like a morning mindset. I already went to war for the day. Like I already overcome the hardest battle. Okay. So I came up with like, what's the worst thing that could happen today? How am I going to deal with that? And you just wake up at 10. Like I'm on the doors at 10. Okay, so I've already done all these things, starting knocking at 10 and then not leaving until at least 4. Okay, but that's like daily. Now there's certain times when you can set bigger goals and you can stay out till dark, which isn't that long in Arizona right now. And I think just having the routine has been the biggest thing. When you first start, if you can develop that and not budge from it, then you're gonna get really good results.
So you're saying at the very beginning, before you start selling or anything, have a great routine or create good habits from the get-go. That way, when you do go out or when you do come on, you're able to have a great mindset to begin with, and then you won't have to worry about, all these negative thoughts or all these other things getting in the way because you already did the hard things. You already got that out the way.
Yeah, so you're still gonna have to deal with the negative thoughts. You're gonna have to deal with driving out there. It's not easy.
Oh, so they're still there.
They're still a battle, right? It's just not as hard as the one I did at 4:30.
Okay, got you.
So yeah, I'd say develop the routine and then don't let other people stop you from doing that. Okay, like a leadership is influence, okay? It's not a title. So if you want to be a leader in a new company, then go act like a leader. Don't sit and wait for a title.
Exactly.
And it doesn't even come just starting out. I'm 2 to 3 years into this, and it's still like the routine is the most important part. Literally all this week, if I didn't go out with the routine, I would have had no leads. You know what I mean? Instead, I got like 3, so.
So routine is important, very important. And then what about you, Derek? You're very new to this.
Yeah. So I started this like beginning of December. That's when I jumped into this. So a couple months now. For me, the thing that I would recommend is focus on personal growth. A lot of people come into this focusing on, like money or other things. But I've heard it a lot that if you focus on, let's just say you want to create one habit or you want to create one like quality about yourself, like whatever that may be, focus on that for the week or so and try to master that thing. And then once you master, you're able to overcome rejection or objections and things like that. Then once you master that, go on to the next thing that you want to personally grow from. And so just taking it step at a time and just having that personal growth is always coming, and don't get caught up in like rejections or anything like that. Instead, focus on that growth.
Can I ask a question real quick, Derek, for you?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, when they come to me, they're like, you do door to door, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I love it. They're like, well, like, I'm just not sure I want to join because I just don't know if I can take the rejection. Like, it sounds brutal out there. I'm not sure. So how do you overcome the rejection and focus on the personal development?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a guy that's looking into it right now, and it's scary. He has to put in his 2 weeks, and he keeps saying, I'm going to do it soon, but he just keeps pushing it off. And so it's that fear of something new, that fear of change. And really, there's always going to be rejection in life. It's just being able to know how to deal with it. And so everyone's different. I'm not going to say there's a certain way to do it. For me, what I realize is, hey, all right, maybe this person canceled, or like this person doesn't want to do it. Guess what? There's another door. There's another chance for me to succeed. There's another opportunity in my life for me to take. And so just having a different mindset, or even just a different perspective on things, like this one could be a little drastic, but you get dumped, you don't be sad about it. You say, all right, here's an opportunity. I'm going to go find someone that's even better. Yeah. So yeah, dude, that's the way I think about it. It's all about perspective and looking at rejection as another opportunity to go and do something better.
That's legit. So you're talking about a lot of progression and self-development. What are some ways, Jacob, you gave a great example, like morning routine, like starting out your morning right. What are some other ways to personally grow or create or develop better habits?
So, answer by cutting the crap out of your life. Okay, so you cannot add anything into your life without taking something out. That's the bottom line. Okay. Don't tell me you can add 15 good new routines in and then not drop the other 15. So where I like to start is I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing during the day that's not getting me to my goals? Am I watching TV? Am I spending too much time with friends? Am I working out too long? Am I just things that might seem good, but it's like a good, better, best situation. It's like, what's the best thing that I can do to get to my goals? Cut the stuff out that's not getting you there.
Amen to that, brother. Nice. Well, with that being said, with the opportunity that this job brings to us, because my life has changed immensely. Like, I was able to get my grandmother down here from Illinois to Arizona. I was able to get a new vehicle. I'm able to bless my friends. I'm able to bless the people around me, do a lot more for charity and stuff like that. What are some life-changing things that have happened in your life because of coming over to SkyPower, doing sales, doing solar? What are some things that you can attribute this career and changing your life?
For me, it's just independence. You know what I mean? Like, there's still 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds that live with their parents. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just like the independence, and then like the growth. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to make a ton of money, but if you can get a ton of personal growth and like experiences from something, I feel like that's where the value comes in. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's just the growth and the experience that I've had with SkyPower that's like that I think of. So, just to add on to that, one of the most important things, like, we all know that there's money in solar. Anyone who's ever come to look at solar, they're probably, the first reason is because of money that they're coming here. The thing that will separate you from other people is developing your why. Okay, I don't care what you say. If you make $100 to like $200,000 in like a month, you're going to get complacent if you don't have a why. Okay, so one of the ways I've kind of combated that is by setting different goals. So like, I want everyone under me to make $250,000 a year. Okay, now when they all make that, it automatically pushes you up and you become a better leader. You start working on your personal development. You have to lead from the front. Or for example, Jeremy, I don't know if you want to talk about this at all, but like your grandma, like what was that, linking that in to like your solar career, like how did that change you?
Drastically.
You worked so hard.
It did. Like, when I had a clear vision of, okay, I can make this money to take care of me and grandma, after that I was like, done deal. What do I got to do?
Yeah, dude, it's like you put your grandma as your screensaver. It's like the average person looks at their phone 400 times a day, their screensaver. So if you're serious about something, why don't you have your goals on your screensaver? Every time you look at it, you're automatically, it's called the reticular activating system. Good for you, dude. The reticular activating system, basically, if you've ever bought a new car, you've noticed, like, after you buy that car, every single day you see another one of those, right? It's just popping up, it's just popping up, it's just pop. Why wouldn't you want the same things with your goals?
Wow. That's powerful, man.
So just set different goals. That's what I'm hearing. If you don't have a why, keep setting stuff that's further away. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm saying set goals, but develop a why. Like, why are you going for those goals? That's more important than the actual goal itself.
Because one of my goals right now is to get a car. And then one of
right, but like, why do you want a car?
I mean, transportation, independence, you know what I mean? Opportunity. Another big goal I have is like taking my family on a vacation. It's like I have 4 brothers and a sister, but yet none of them have taken my mom or dad on vacation. I'm like, all right, I got it.
Right. So instead of just like, hey, I want a car, it's like, dude, my family can't spend quality time together on a vacation that they deserve if I don't get this car. Okay, like that's way different than just like, hey, I want that Honda Civic over there.
Exactly.
Be
You're
specific.
Yeah.
Nice. Coming into the solar stuff, dude, I feel like throughout our entire lives, we always have limits on what we could do. You know, we're working a job. We got 40 hours. Sometimes we could get some overtime, but it's not like we can do anything to change that. The boss tells us, hey, you could get some overtime this time or something. But coming into this, you just have so much more power over your future. And so you say, hey, I could go out there, I can knock 10 hours a day, and I can be the one that changes my future. I don't have to wait on someone else to do it. And so for me, that's the thing coming into this that I noticed is that everybody, they're so much more motivated and hyped about it because they're the ones with the power. And so going into solar, that's what I've noticed, and that's why I'm still here. I love it. So
Just adding on to that, Derek, like how many jobs have you had where it's just like you're just waiting for someone else to do something?
Dude.
You're just like, oh man, if she
job.
doesn't put the French fries on the hamburger plate, then I'm screwed.
Right.
Okay. If he doesn't put the report in, then I'm done. I'm not saying team efforts aren't important, but in this job, you literally control your destiny. Okay, like if you're sitting in your bed laying down, then you're not going to get a sale. You're not going to make money. You're not going to change your family and kids' lives.
Exactly.
But if you go out there, you have all of the control in the world to actually change what's going on in your life.
One thing that I really like what you said is you have a lot of control. For an individual like me, I like to be in control of my environment. I like to be in control of my space, stuff like that. But you're not always in control of, you know, what's going on in life. But one thing that has helped me understand that I can take a lot more control is one, focusing on my attitude and focusing on my effort. So when it comes to this industry and taking more control of your life, how can you take more control of your life personally? Even though there's a lot of things that are going crazy outside, how can you be more in control so that you can figure out your goals and be more consistent?
I'd say top 2 things for me are awareness and being 1% better. So it's like, if I wake up in the morning and I think, oh, I don't want to write in my journal, well, I'm going to realize that and then write in my journal instead of not doing it. That's what most people would do is about, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So I feel like that was a big thing, is just like being aware of when those, like what's it called, where you push something off. You guys know what I'm talking about? Procrastinating, you know what I mean? It like gets rid of that. I'm like, oh, I'm procrastinating. And then the 1% better is like, I've been meditating lately for like the past week, so I feel like that's made a huge difference, because every time I'm in the meditation, it's like, thank yourself for showing up today. I'm like, wow, yeah, because I didn't want to show up, so wow, props to me.
I think the biggest thing just to go along with that is the standards that you set for yourself. If you set a certain standard and don't go below that, you automatically rise up.
Wow.
Like no excuses. Like I don't hang around people that do this.
Nice.
Automatically you up level yourself. Right? I work for 6 hours. I'm on the doors for 6 hours a day. Like you don't stoop lower than that. So then your circle becomes bigger with people that knock for 6 hours a day, or people that lead teams that knock 6 hours a day.
Or successful people.
Yeah, it's kind of what you guys all said. It's all about mindset, you know, figuring out how to, you know, be in control of your own mind. And I that's something that everyone's working on. And if you can figure that out, it's all going to come. So
I have a big topic.
What's up?
Have you guys gone through like a sales slump?
Oh, yeah, when the sales ain't happening, the money ain't coming in. Yeah, I've been through a ton of those. And one of the things that I always have to keep myself in remembering is that this too shall pass. Because when those moments come, like everybody's going to go through them. I don't care who you are. You can be Sam Taggart. You can be Taylor McCarthy. You're going to have a sales slump. But the question is, how do you get over those sales slumps when they happen? You know what I mean? So what are some ways that you guys get over your sales slumps when they come up?
yeah, dude. So Jake actually sent me this video. I forgot his name, but it was about momentum. And so the winners or the champions, whatever you call it, the people that get it done, they go out there and they create momentum. And once you get momentum, so you get a sell, you get that momentum going, and then you get another one, it just starts picking up. So during those sell slumps, that's when the people who are, known for being champions who get it done, that's when they push harder. That's when they put in like 3 days of just crazy amount of work, knowing that they're creating momentum for themselves. So really, there's not an easy answer to it. You just got to work harder and create momentum.
So just something that I wanted to add on to that. I know being in a sales slump is like sad, but when you're a leader, it's kind of a different story. It's hard to see your recruits not selling. It's hard to see other people not reaching their goals. So I heard this on a YouTube video. I think it was Sam Taggart. That he's just talking about like, what do you do when like your recruit's not selling? He comes to you sad, like, hey, I just knocked 6 hours, didn't get anything. Well, you lead from the front. You go get a sale. You go help them get a sale. You give them the full rip. You give them half the rip. You do whatever you can to get them selling again and help them over that slump. Another thing I heard was there's like no such thing as just like a bad sales slump. It's there's a bad mentality, So like it's like just choosing when your bad moments are instead of when your bad days are. So turning those days into moments and then overcoming them.
And how do you catch it right then and there? Because some people, and I'm guilty of it, where, I get into that sales slump and then the mindset starts, deteriorating because I'm not seeing success. And then I start going downhill, yada, yada, this, yada, yada, that. So what would you advise people who may be going through a sales slump to rebound or bounce back and, get back into the flow and building that momentum?
Well, I think the biggest thing is your definition of success. You're like, oh man, like I'm in a sales slump. I'm not successful. Like I'm not. Like, what is your definition of success?
Family taken care of, bills paid, freedom.
Mm-hmm. So what do you have to do to get to there? Work, right? So if I work 6 hours today and didn't get a lead, is that failure or success?
I'd say that's success because you actually went out there and you've worked. Even though you didn't get a lead, you still went out there and worked. Right.
So I would say that success is going out the next day and doing it better. Okay, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, if you get 0 leads, you're successful. It just doesn't make sense, right? The company doesn't move forward. You don't get deals. But like Derek was saying, the real success comes when you're in that failure zone and you keep pushing. Like that's where if you can go 16 days without getting anything and you're working every day, I will take you all day over the person that goes out there and gets one today.
Wow.
All day. Wow. If you can keep the mentality strong and keep going.
So you choose a person who is more about work ethic over talent in a way.
Yeah. I mean, work ethic always surpasses talent. Of course, I like them combined.
Of course. Who doesn't?
But yeah.
That's legit. And what about you, Gibson? What would you advise people that may be going through a slump to change their mentality, to get better or do better?
Definitely like make a plan. You know what I mean? If you're just going out there every day kind of clueless, like not sure, hoping, like you're not going to get any results from that. I feel like if you have like a plan and you already have it, if you're confident about it in your head, you're going to get results. You know what I mean? It's like I went for like a month or 2 without a sale, but I was confident that I've been doing my routine for a week. That I'm gonna get a close this week, and I got a close this week. So it's just being confident and like in yourself, and that's how you get results.
I think the other thing is just like one thing that's just been huge for me is the affirmations. Doing them in the morning, especially like I have this thing pulled up on YouTube where I like Google like I am affirmations or whatever, and it's like I am successful, I am confident, I'm a good leader, I sell every day, I add value to people's lives every day. Eventually you start believing those things and you start becoming those things. Now compare that to not listening to anything at all, to no affirmations. All you're going to be thinking about all day long is, oh man, am I going to get a lead today? Like how am I going to like feed my family? Like how am I going to pay my car payment? How am I going to pay my rent? But it's like the biggest problem with solar is that people make too much money. Okay, and does anyone disagree? Like when you get your first install check and it's $6,000, do you think there's a problem about how much money you make or how you use the money?
How I use it.
How you use it, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as someone gets a $6,000 check for the first time in their life, they're like, oh my gosh, like, it depends on the person obviously, but they're like, oh my gosh, like I can take off a week. Like I'm set. It's like, dude, what's your why? Is your why not as important as $6,000? Because that's when the why connects.
Exactly.
Or $10,000 is what you're doing when you're not making $10,000 worth not doing.
Then that goes back to like cutting the crap out of your lives, because is watching TV for an hour worth $500?
Heck no.
No.
But do we do it?
Yep.
The real answer internally is yes.
Exactly.
So just shifting those mindsets, that's how we get there.
So we've been talking a lot about mindset and, how we've gotten it, but what are some tools or resources that people can go to even figure out where to, develop that mindset? Because, it's easy to talk about it, but if you don't know what you don't know, how do you apply it?
Just some books I've read is Awareness, Atomic Habits, Outwitting the Devil, Psycho-Cybernetics. These are all just books that kind of help shift your mindset a little bit. And I've listened to those kind of going out to area. I've taken notes on all the books, so it's not just reading the book, it's actually like retaining the information. I feel like that's a big thing.
And what would you say you gained from that? Or like, how have you seen yourself change throughout the process of when you first didn't start reading books compared to reading those books now?
I feel like it's a night and day difference. Like a lot of you would not know me 5 years ago as the person sitting here now. That's the bottom line right there.
And I can attest to that. Gibson, 5 years ago, he was shy, timid, figuring it all out. But now, since he's been reading books and after I've been, hanging out with him, selling with him for 3 years, not only is he a top producer, but on top of that, he's also very smart and intellectual with his process. I've learned how to prepare from him because of some of the things he's learned from books as well. My biggest flaw right now is preparation. And so I'm very thankful that I got great leaders like Derek, Jacob, Gibson, Moose, Garrett Rustan to help me with whatever I'm lacking. So that's way cool to see the growth and progression of Gibson from 3 years ago until right now. This is awesome.
Dude, I used to freaking cry. I want to go home.
I'm pretty sure we all been there too.
And the funny part is we don't hear those stories. Like, I'm sure someone looking to go into solar is just like only hears good stuff. Mm-hmm. Just like, oh my gosh, like we make all this money. Like we go out to places. We go to Suns games. We go like on vacations to Las Vegas. Like we go, and no one talks about the feeling you have when you're alone out there knocking on doors, getting yelled at.
Actually, that's a good topic to talk about. Let's talk about that. Let's get vulnerable, needy, and greedy. We all talk about, oh, I make so much money. I went to Coronado. I've been to the beach, yada, yada, this, yada, yada, that. What are some of your guys' moments of, for lack of better term, darkness, where you just didn't know if you had it in you or if you didn't think you could get it through or get through the day, get through the process? Like, what are some of the thoughts that you literally have that maybe being deconstructive, but also how did you overcome those thoughts?
So this is like right before Derek started. Like I was out in Phoenix knocking like all by myself for like probably like a month, like every day, just going at it. I was getting beat up. Like I got yelled at by this one guy. He's just like threatening to like call the cops on me. I answered one door and this lady like had a gun like in her shirt. And she's like, hey, can I help you? And I was like, no, I'm good. So there's just so many stories. And like, then it starts getting dark and I went to knock on this one house and like the dogs literally like ran after me. Okay. The same night I'm walking back to my car, like just all sad, like feeling bad for myself. Don't do that. I'm just walking by and I see this lady and her like washer is stuck in the doorway of her garage, like her washer and dryer. And I was like, okay. So I went up and I was like, hey, like, can I help you? She's like, get away. Like, I don't like solar guys, like blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, like, okay, I'll leave, but do you need help? And she's like, wow, you would help me. So I spent like 30 minutes just like helping her install her washer and dryer that were like stuck in between the doorways between like her garage and her hallway. Right. So I put it in and she's like, yeah, I actually have like three houses around here and I love solar. Like, I just don't like the guys that stop around. And so I was like, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll stop by tomorrow at 10 a.m. Are you going to be here? Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, does call or text work better if you just got the phone number, set the appointment? And that was after a full day of rejection. Okay, then I got beat up for like a whole nother week, just like, appointments, but just no solid closes. And then this guy starts, okay? And his first day, like, I'm just knocking. We get pretty beat up. Like, we're getting appointments, but they weren't solid, And then I'm just like, let's just go check this one guy's house real quick. So I knock on the door. There's like a little oxygen and use sign, just a little disabled guy I talked to like probably 2 weeks before. And he's like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, yeah, so we're doing the new solar program. And then he's like, oh, like, that's interesting. Like, what does that cost? And I'm like, well, it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket, but let me get into the pricing real quick. One small problem. I just realized that your roof probably has a couple leaks in it just from the look of it. SkyPower, if you guys don't know already, has a roofing company built in. We're with Fresh Home Solutions. So I was able to give him a full new roof, price it in with a solar. And then, I mean, this guy, he's a disabled veteran. You know, he's on oxygen tank. Okay. And we were able to just really change his life. So went through with the roof, went through with the solar, just stopped by like 2 weeks ago after his install, his roof, his solar, everything's working good. And he's just like, Jake, like, I don't know what we would have done if you didn't stop by that day.
Wow.
And I'm just like.
So even though you were getting rejected, all of that, at the very end, you met that guy.
Yeah. Like, is that not worth it? Like, is that not? And then you talk about moving to alarms, like when we're giving alarms to people, and it's like, yeah, we're charging customers money, but like, what happens when you hear a story about someone who fell in their house and they're an old lady and they needed help, and then you just save someone's life? So it's like just switching your mentality from just monetary focus to actual value.
Wow, that's beautiful. And going from monetary, you know, whatever you said, to bringing up value, would you say is more or less based off of value is why people buy from you, or is it savings, or is it like, what would you say the reason why people buy from you specifically?
Like, yeah, like what made that old vet and what made that girl who helped you or you helped with the dryer, like what made them want
so
you?
people buy people, not products. So that's the first thing. So it's like, even if you don't want solar, like, I can add some value to your life. You'll hear me out.
Even if it's installing a dryer for an old lady.
Yeah, so I just think about, just for example, we sold this to family this morning, and it was just an add-on system. But like, we're going to be giving them insulation, an alarm for their safety. We're going to be basically transforming their whole house into like an energy productive system, you know, an energy efficient system. And it's like, they would not have done that if it was just for financial reasons, right? I mean, they're going to be saving a little bit money up front, like day one, but over the long term, they're going to save a lot. But like, people don't change without value. So I think just if we can continue adding value to people, that we'll see more change.
I love what you said there, adding value.
It's like with other solar companies, you can't sell them a roof and insulation and a security system. It's like with my deal last week, we did a roof plus insulation plus solar. So it's like, yeah, you add way more value with SkyPower than other companies we've been with.
100% facts.
And getting people to understand the value, just like in solar in general. Just say it's just solar. You go to someone's house and they say, "Hey, what's the final price, you know, of the whole system?" And you'll say like 40 grand. Like, oh, but then you have to break it down to them and say, "But listen to me. How much are you going to be paying APS during this time?" And, you know, it's like 80 grand or something. So people's the way they look at it, it's like a misconcept or something like that, because they don't understand the value in it. And so our job is trying to get people to see the value in solar and all the other things we offer too. But it's just, you got to learn how to work with people like that. And so get them to understand the value and what you bring to them, of course.
That's so legit. So when it comes to selling on value and adding value, what would you say would be the best way to approach it and how to bring it up?
Being genuine, like actually adding value to someone's life. Like, if you're just like, oh man, I just want to stick an $80,000 system on your house. Like, dude, no, don't worry. Like we're $15 cheaper than the other company. Like, we'll get it installed faster. We'll take care of you. Like, don't even hear the other guys. It's like, no, I want you to get more quotes, because no matter what price they get, our value is better. Okay, so if you come in with the mentality, you're like, wow, like, I wake up on Monday morning and I'm like, wow, like, I'm going to serve 8 people this week. Like, I'm just going to add so much value that it's literally impossible. Think about like Michael Jordan, okay? Like, people get paid millions of dollars to stop him from shooting a basketball and making it. How many baskets does he make?
A ton.
yeah, so like when you up level, when you get better, when you add skills to your when you add skills to your life, like they can't stop you. Like no one, because you're just so good at what you do. You believe in it so much, you add so much value that there's no way to get stopped.
That is so legit. So you talk about value. What are some of the mentors or professors that have added value to your life that you can attribute, your growth or your success from?
Well, for me, so with my background, the reason I got into solar was, so first off, I started doing real estate stuff. I started listening to podcasts and things like that. And so there's this one guy named Jake Fritz. He's the guy that kind of helps me out with the real estate stuff. And honestly, I haven't talked to him in a while, but when I got into that, he was just helping me to see kind of what I need to do with life and helping me see that maybe school wasn't, the right thing. And I kind of had already figured that out, but just being able to talk to someone that kind of sees the things the way I see them and kind of show me like what he's done with his life and things like that. That's what kind of started the journey for me, I guess you can say. That's
beautiful. And what specifically was it just him teaching you, or was he literally invested in you to get you going?
So I'd say it was just him mainly teaching me the way and helping me see because growing up I only saw one style of life and it wasn't bad. It's just there's a lot more to it too, and if you look at it from a different perspective, I guess he helped me see that in a way too.
That's awesome. So he was able to help you see a different perspective, a different lifestyle than what you were growing up. And then look at where you are right now, selling solar, making the life and the dream that you always wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. What about you, Jacob? Who is your professor or your mentor, or that one person that you can say added a ton of value to your life?
So I've always looked up to people. When I was 16, I was super overweight. And I was like, okay, look, like I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of thinking bad about myself. So my first mentor was a bodybuilder. Okay. So he's just like ripped, and I'm just like, okay, like just tell me what to do, man. Like I'll do it all day. So I just got on this diet plan, the poster boy story, like just got into ridiculously good shape. And then I was like, wait, if I can have this mentality, what can I not do? Like I can do this in any area. So I took the discipline I got from working out and switched it over to school, switched it over to serving in my church, switched it over to now in solar. So I looked at this company, and some of my mentors from before, Garrett Rustan specifically owned this company. And I was like, okay, so I sat down with him, sat down with Jacob Browning, and then came over here, and it's like, okay, I want to become like them. I want to learn from them. So I came here, right? But then just something I was reflecting on, actually when we went to Door-to-Door Experts, Sam Taggart, is just imagine yourself walking over to your 12-year-old self, like 10 years ago, and imagine like helping the old you up from the ground from being bullied, up from the ground from living in poverty, and you're like bringing him up, and he's looking up to you. Like how much different would we act if that's how we were living? Like if the 12-year-old me was looking at me right now, I'd be like, I wouldn't even believe it. So like I want to be that guy who can help my past self.
That's beautiful, man. And what got you thinking about that besides Sam Taggart, like got more in depth of thinking about, being that guy that wants to help your past self? Because that goes into a lot of different phases of life, whether it be some random individual you meet or, maybe a family member. So what got your mindset thinking like that?
The main thing was like just being the overweight kid that got made fun of just doesn't feel good. Okay. So I was always looking for someone better that could help me. Like I was always looking for a friend, and they just weren't there because they wouldn't stick around. I didn't add value, So it was like, once I started getting in shape, I got a little more popular. I dated a cheerleader and I joined football, and it was like, wait, I don't want to be like these guys. Like I started disrespecting my old friends because I was cool now. And it was right when I realized that I was like, no, this is not happening. So like I went back to my old friend group and I started helping other people become better people. Okay, so it was just like, I want to be someone who can help people that were like me.
That's very admirable of you, man. Very admirable. And I'm grateful that you found it out from a bodybuilder growing up at a young age, and it led on into this mindset of what you have right now. One, hoping, help people grow, help people progress, help people become better, even teach people to be nicer to one another. Like, that's so cool at 12 years old or 16 years old, how it carried on right now. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Gibatron? Who's your mentor, professor, or that one person in your life that has led you to where you are right now that you can contribute your success to?
Webstar LLC. No, I definitely say my stepdad. Just at a really young age, he took the ropes, he put his shoes on, said, all right, let's do it. Now that's what I was missing at the time. So yeah, definitely my stepdad. I've had like probably 5 to 10 different phone calls with him. Man, my sales job is rough. I don't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. He'd always be like, nope, suck it up, stop crying. You're like he's just always been a good support system for me. So definitely my stepdad. He's really my dad, but
sounds like he's your dad. And I guess what would you say would be some of the things your stepdad or pretty much your dad has taught you about discipline, or what are some things that discipline from him teaching you at a young age has led to your life of success? Does that make sense?
No.
I knew it didn't make sense when it came out my mouth. What I was trying to say is from your dad teaching you, discipline and things like that, when you were growing up, did you consider it, tough love, or were you against the way he was teaching you? Like, because some people growing up in that atmosphere, they'll think of it as, tough love, or, my dad doesn't love me, or, he's demeaning me. How did you switch that mentality, or not how did you switch the mentality, but how did you gain that respect for your stepdads to where you actually listened to them?
I mean, like I already said, it was like you have one dad that literally leave, and then you have another dad step right up. It's like, that just shows you right there.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like if you're missing something in your life, literally be the one to step up and do it.
Wow. Okay. And so that's something very important that your dad taught you. If you're missing something in life, or your stepdad, step up, replace it, do it yourself. Don't rely on nobody else. That's what I was trying to get when I was trying to answer that question at the very beginning. Somebody for me, I will have to say, is my grandmother. One, she is a very God-fearing woman. There hasn't been a day in her life where she hasn't contributed any of her success to God. Second, that woman is a stubborn bull. If it ain't her way, it's gonna be her way. And I appreciate that about her, because she's so confident in her decision, and she has that much trust not only in herself, but in God as well. And it taught me one very simple principle. If you don't believe in something, believe in something. Because there's something higher than you are that's going to get you a lot further than where you are, such as mentors and professors. There are going to be people that are better than you, that if you look towards them and seek counsel, and if it's good advice and you feel good about it and you follow it, you will be, for lack of a better term, blessed. You're going to be rewarded in the long run. So my grandmother helping me understand that be decisive in every single thing that you do, be confident in every single thing that you do, and involve somebody bigger than you, somebody bigger than anybody in this world, you're always going to be okay. So bringing those simple principles, I feel like, is what has brought my life success, what has helped my mindset, and on top of that, has helped me feel even more loved, so to speak. Because growing up, this is a dog-eat-dog world. People are like, even Jacob Shumway explained earlier, he got made fun of, he got picked on. But if people were more loving, caring, better, the world would be a better place. We wouldn't have to be worrying about any of these different things, what's going on in the world. But long story short, it's been an amazing podcast. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Just one more thing to add, just the reason SkyPower is different, it's the systems we have in place. Like, just being, I know switching a little bit, but switching to like a closer standpoint, like let's say you want to come self-gen deals, let's say you want to bring a team here, I feel very confident that you can put people into the system and they will succeed. For example, if I submit like a perfect package with all the documents I need, all the payment information, everything else, like it's going to be worked through the system until it's figured out. And another big thing for SkyPower is that we have our own installers. Okay, so like we're not just sending some random install team out to you. It's people that we believe in, people we trust, and that are going to get the job done.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. And let me ask you this, Jake, with all of your personal installs and things like that, how successful, or what would you say your customer retention rate is right now?
So just for context, I started like 4 months ago. So
And that's saying something, people. Just to let y'all know, that's saying something.
haven't been here for that long, but customer retention once they're sold is pretty good. I'd say 60%, 70%. But when you're selling a lot of volume, it does kind of drop down a little bit. But the other thing that we've been adding at SkyPower is we've been doing insulation, we've been doing alarms, we've been doing roofs. Those things help so much with retention. Okay, like, and I know you're thinking, oh, they're locked in. It's not more that. It's more the value that we bring. Like, you're not going to want to go sign up with another solar company if I already gave you a new roof. I gave you insulation. Like, I protected your family with an alarm. Like, I changed your life, really. Like, you're not going to go to some other random guy that knocks on your door.
Exactly. It's a no-brainer at that point. It's beautiful. Derek, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, man. Ready to go. It's a good one.
Amen to that. Gibatron, Gibson.
Gibatron signing off.
Hey, well, I appreciate every single one of you for listening to our podcast today from SkyPower Solar. Please give us your feedback. Please let us know any questions you have concerning sales, concerning solar, concerning SkyPower. We'll be more than willing to help y'all. But my personal Instagram is J_Sims369.
Mine's just Gibson.Anderson, just like my name.
At Jacob_Shumway.
Just search Derek Gardner. I don't even know my thing.
It's been a pleasure, y'all. God bless. We'll catch you later.